remember the movie about the Khamas?
Yeah, I remember.
They are related to the.
Yeah.
So they have to keep the legacy going. So
you feel like Masisi is dragging their.
No, Masisi is messing up their plan.
Botswana has to make a decision, and it's gonna come from Botswana to just say visit. And there's I don't have a term for it. I don't want to call it like a petty. I want like Botswana need to hold our politicians accountable, all of them. And again, I don't subscribe at this time to either one or the other, or opposition or ruling. I just need them all to grow up.
Welcome to Shining the Light. My name is S.E. Walibwa. Today I have Keaboka and Haoza. How you guys doing?
Great, Sunny. Great. How you guys doing?
Man, I haven't seen you in a long time, man.
It's like we're not just across the freeway from each other.
Yeah. Haoza?
Well, I'm doing good.
Man, you know, when the pandemic started, New York, you were in the New York area, right?
I was staying in New York and I moved. I'm in Connecticut right now.
Oh, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. But at that
it's
time,
like 3 hours away.
But at that time you were in New York, 2020, you were in New York?
Yeah, when it started.
How did you survive the pandemic though?
The pandemic, there was like, I couldn't get a job, like, like many people lost their jobs. So for me in the healthcare market, I had to move. That's why I moved to Connecticut.
Wow.
Because I do home health aid. So the jobs in New York weren't as much as in Connecticut.
Wow.
So I had to move. Yeah.
So you moved in 2020 or 2021?
I moved at the beginning of the pandemic. Immediately at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because then I couldn't get anything.
Wow.
So that's why I came here. Yeah, I live in a small town called Waterbury. That's like #1 town in Connecticut.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 30 minutes from New Haven.
I know about New Haven.
You ever heard of New Haven, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're like 30 minutes away.
Okay. Keaboka.
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen you, man. I know you've been dealing with the pandemic. I don't know. What were you working from? You couldn't work from home though.
No, we are
because of the nature of your job, right?
No, not about whole thing. When people run away from stuff, we run towards it. So now you don't get to work from home. I've been status quo throughout the entire pandemic. So not much really changed other than just the eerie of not having people around, and that was the one weird thing. But double sword blessing, taking risk, but still that really pushed me along. I never got to experience the depression and all that other stuff that comes with being stuck at home and not knowing what the next day is going to hold. I was very fortunate in that I still had to go to work.
Yeah, a lot of people were depressed when this thing. I mean, some people are still depressed. They're still suffering from that.
Oh yeah.
How did it affect you, Haoza? As far as things like depressions are concerned. Were you somehow?
Like for me, I have like a lot of friends, so
yeah, especially because you have friends, you have family.
Yeah, like I know like we couldn't go out a lot, but what we did, like those like not the Zoom, like the WhatsApp video calls.
Yeah, okay.
Me and my friends, we could be like 6 and we would just call each other and talk. Even have a party over that. To tell you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how we're able to like deal with that.
Okay.
And then remember, New York was like the hotspot.
Yeah.
Then Connecticut, because it's more like in the kind of like country. So because it was country, the virus didn't spread out like New York City. So we used to, like, people here used to just go out, like maybe even to a park. like where people could just have like, weekend events where they could have barbecues and stuff. So it didn't really affect us that much. Because even when I used to take trips to New York, everybody would be wearing masks, right? And then when we come this side, a mask was also controversial. You understand? Like people didn't want to wear a mask to a supermarket. But New York, it's like it was like a must. So it was, and my sister's in New York. So when I went, I used to just hear her stories like, oh no, you gotta wear a mask. And for me, it was nothing really, to tell you the truth.
So how old is your sister?
Yeah, my blood sister.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before we delve deep into this, can you guys introduce yourself? Where you from? Haoza. Where you guys from? Where you from? Originally?
Well, for me, I'm originally from Botswana. I moved here in '99. I came for school.
Wow.
Yeah. Then I went to college. Then after college, I decided not to go back. So I'm still here.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah,
But they want me, but like, what are they like? Not that I've lost touch. They're still my people, but it's like I've lived half my life in Botswana, half in the US. So I'm really in between. I don't. Even if I don't, the only people that I miss is my family and relatives, and a few friends. That's it.
Right. So why did
to tell
you?
you the truth, I don't know much also about Botswana.
Keaboka,
I have a
here
Botswana community here. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Did you say we have Botswana community here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say. I mean, it happened 10 years later. 8 years before, it was really bad. I was by myself. Then after that, a whole bunch of people came. When Botswana people were able to travel. Back then they didn't wanna travel and all that. But now it's like we're good. We have Facebook videos and so we don't miss home as much. We have a community where I live. We have a community.
Okay.
Yeah, like Waterbury, Connecticut, check that. Even in New York, we had a community. So for me, from 2008, all that loneliness, homesickness, it went away.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Keaboka.
My roots, grew up in Botswana almost the entire time up until age 25, and that's when I relocated here. As I met a young lady there that I ended up marrying, and we decided to move here to start a family here. So that's how it all started.
Yeah. But you grew up in Muchudi or what?
All over. So originally, yes, go Muchudi, go Seja, but then after that, I moved around. My mother worked for the post office, and I was always going somewhere. So I went to about 6 different primary schools. So because every year I was going somewhere. So and then didn't come here until about 2009. And first place Cincinnati, the coldest and strangest place I've ever lived. And then finally we moved over to Santa Barbara, which is where now my permanent base is in Santa Barbara, California. And then now I'm in and I worked there for a while, and then now I relocated for just my job only. My base remains in Santa Barbara, but then I still commute to San Francisco for work. So
wow,
interesting setup. But
interesting setup. I like the Bay Area. When I tell people from home, I say, Oakland, that's my home. From home,
Yes.
How's
Oakland is
Oakland
is quite a stark contrast from Santa Barbara. in Santa Barbara, I knew all the 5 black people that lived there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Oakland is like, how's a good thing? It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like this.
But right now you are in Silicon Valley, though, right?
Yeah, so half and half. So
Half and half. Okay.
yeah, I'm in Santa Barbara, and then I'm in the Bay Area for work. So, and then family still in Santa Barbara.
Yeah, it's always good seeing your boy, man.
Oh yeah,
He's beginning to look like you.
Not anymore. He's starting to look like a grown man. It's he's almost 13, and he's growing too fast for me. And
yeah, I'm here.
How's you know about tobacco guys? Sometimes when you tell them that when you live in America, you hustle. It's not as easy as people think.
Yeah,
but we hustle. We have to go to work. We have to put bread on the table. Talk about that. That how we are soft.
Like nah.
Mm-hmm.
We say
like you were telling
the girl interrupted.
Yes.
Or movie what the girl interrupted. That's my life. Like I had it all planned. I saw the American dream once. Mm-hmm. But it really got okay. Kita have example. Kitle scholarship. I get. Scholarship, you don't have to worry about anything. But scholarship is a hella. You are on your own.
Right.
I got stuck. I get a scholarship. Go to transition from one scholarship to school. It was just like school. And then I know thing scholarships are hell. I get. Then I have to do what they call hustle.
Yeah.
But I have to get into that mood. So I remember when New York, they didn't come through scholarship. So when they already transitioned, okay, fine. Botswana, we are going to the US hustle again. Mindset totally ready. Now I've been there like
how on a stipend.
How on a stipend? How about this a stipend? Kya ba join? I get. How about join? When they are already accustomed to the system. So Nike taking one. Kisonjore kibonor baira. Hagijor basimola hakai. Then one nalji issues are yo. What's what are you born? No one. They really don't want to show me the way. You've been here like all these years. I get. So I don't care. I never then Lena Hagite Kurubua Lebon, who communicate telephone over Rakere Mponsensi Lawan. So it becomes the first maybe 2 years I kind of got depressed. Not depressed, there I shut down. Now
and how did you snap out of that depression?
To snap out of it, when I realized I can my dear rent, I can my dear would sale. So I have to find a way. Then I had to give a boot say, okay, like okay, fine. Fortunately, now I think okay, my sister, come here. Graduation in Ami, so when I connect Talibane better than so I'm no, you have to do this. So it's an moment Kituta Kurhotana no system in America. And a system in America. How it's an amboyone Usreji. Humble. But I had to learn.
Yeah, no, I always tell people that I want you to pick up from where you left. I always tell people that when you go to school, just to go to school. That's a total game. I mean, like how easy. How about you and how do we see LA or you see New York? You know,
you don't know anything.
That's a different game.
So I ended up similar I get. So similar
because how about you are no, because I just graduated. I'm still waiting for my dream job. So what you have to go and look for a job? You know, if you have to work in a grocery store, if you have to go and sell some vitamins, you know, driving around like I used to, so you have to do it. You know, so
you have to do it.
Yeah.
So I had to realize system. And you don't just flow into it. Kuna step yone tse ileng gore ke tsone tse ileng gore batho ba le go Botswana a go itse gore America ke camera and lights motho a le go Botswana bona go glittera ga itse gore o tsene yang wa bona. So it's like bona that's all they see, but ga ba itse gore to go through that system but I had to learn and then get accustomed to it. And then more thing I had to realize this is what it is.
Right.
Yeah, no case king the degree I get walebala too. Because now I get.
Right.
So go lidio tse ne ke sa batle go di itse go mbodi subway system tse ne ke sa tlhoke go di itse because ne ke nna go ile sekolo ke wo ka hela. I had to learn system e o ke ithuta gore e ke te anong ke nna o dirisiwang tshipiti ke di rutwa go tsamaya.
Right.
So ke tsena mo systeming and ke dila le yone mo ile gore to this day nka ora ka re okay fine ke a itlhaloganya wa bona ile nga ruta batho bangwe gore system ya America e tsamaiwa yana but go ne go se motlhofo wa bona. So ke yone go mo ile gore even le go na le system ya sekolo wa bona ha ke tsena sekolo ne ke le ngapa like very skinny.
Okay.
Then ha ke na mo motseng ya no ke ja dijo ya ke relaxis so ke a nona ke na mokima so ya no ke simula ke le gore dila gore ga ke dile hela le go na you so go hustler. Ke simula ke na le reality ya life wa bona gore now this is life e mo matlhong a me wa bona. And then here I am ke dila gapeleng le di disappointments tsa me wa bona. But the only good thing, to tell you the truth, now that kept me in le go dumela mo modimong a utlwa.
Okay.
Ke ne sa okay ne ke dumela mo modimong wa bona. But bona bo Kriste ba hi sister I'm blessed, how are you next week? But in real life in face ebe ke tsana mo modimong because they came with and nobody could answer me. So I asked Nana Kibota Mujimu Dipoto, even now, okay, fine. Kitlo find and need and Kitlo born or one. So yeah, no humpio can hearing how to do what the Jumela Baker. Hello, sister, I'm blessed. Hallelujah. Cowering. Kitile with Silo Bonabata di Barnair Barare. Mama nthekela ditlhakwa gore a re ga kena madi o bo sa itsoro magorang ha re hana madi ya no mo gompiekong ke a buitse. So and even this thing of like even moving to Connecticut ne ntse le hela out of choice let me just go try something wa bona gore ya no forsiwa go ira the decision on your own. But at the same time I could have chosen life ya banna wa bona gore ke senka monna nyale, you know, but ke ne ka no, I'm going to find. So nete hela ke le nosi ke tlhaloganya wa bona. Then the marriage and everything, marriage bana they will come later. So, and the good thing, hakisiki kobo. I'll get there.
You get in there, my sister. you get in there.
There's nobody who can Antari. Oh, Haoza, you're old. You know, you can't have kids now. No. Can I do plan a time? I'm going to do it. On a Lebana at my time.
You still, yeah. You still, yeah. You know?
Yeah. Tata.
It's all over.
Yeah, it's a long story, to tell you the truth.
That's what it is, my sister. Definitely. You know, and I'm in agreement with you. So let me hear what Keaboka is saying, you know, in regard to this. You know, I know for sure you work long hours, man.
Yeah, there's a whole different system. And back to Haoza's point, yeah, it's not all roses. You know, similar story, Haoza, when you started with school here, I started here without school.
Oh, wow.
However, you're going to get like a degree. Yeah, I have all the degrees in the world, and I have this and that. And I had a good job. Go Botswana, and automatically I assume I will get the job. No. Cincinnati, I could not get a job. Go Target, the begging groceries.
Yeah.
And Santa Barbara, I could not get a job. Go Starbucks. And I ended up having to, just out of, you know, all the money now needs you can't just be home because
yeah.
I ended up getting a more parking garage.
And you have to do what you have to do, right? You have to do what you have to do. Yeah.
$9.90.
You have to do what you have to do.
Just to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And, you know, through perseverance, hard work, and a whole lot of, you know, I ended up getting divorced, unfortunately, at some point in my life. And that brought me to another law that actually ended up being the reason why my life ended up going a different direction. So, you know, and
when go to divorce, I go to mo go to divorce tseo there's a lot of pain, you know.
Yes. So yeah, that was a trying time, you know. And Santa Barbara again, Santa Barbara, there's no family, no community or anything like that, no social network, social net to fall back on. Botswana, anywhere in the neighborhood, and you just have to strap those boots and go. And you know, that's when at some point I made the decision to move my job from Santa Barbara, which was, you know, it was comfortable at that time, but you know, just to get that pivot. And I decided, you know what, Bay Area, and I hit up the 2 airports here, and I've been here since 2016. And it's been, you know, it's been a blessing. It's been great, and you know, I'm doing much better than I had imagined. If you had asked me in 2012 where I thought I was going to be, it never would have been. I never would have dreamed of where I am right now. You know, like from a $12.25 an hour job, I did, like, it looked bleak.
Yeah.
And that hustle, it's real. And you have to work 5-6 different jobs. And right now, you know, and through hard work, perseverance, and that's just really how I made it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I ended up in this industry, in the aviation industry, and no kidding. And here you put in the time. And sometimes if something happens when you're on the job, guess what? You're not going home. Yeah. So that's the fun part of the job. And, you know, the last 2 years have been great. And, you know, I got to manage the security program for the last 8 months. And then now I switched over to another program that I'm managing for our airport. So it's been really, really a good trajectory that I'm hoping that I can maintain.
You can even give somebody a job, man. Sounds like.
If you want the stress,
You know,
like you said, you can just come in the morning, and then you just disappear. This one,
you know.
yeah, you put in the 10 hours.
I mean, I
it's
want
10
to put
hours.
that, but you can't do that. You know, if
Yeah.
you.
So it's a lot of hard work, my brother.
It's a lot of
and
hard work.
commitment.
You know, like
And,
Haoza Abuari, you know, you have to continue to move on, even when things are not working.
Yep.
You know, continue to believe, right? And don't give up.
The difficult part, and this is something that I had to struggle with, is Botswana, we never knew struggle.
Yeah.
You
Never. Yeah.
You can be poor. You think being poor and not knowing, if you'll be,
you don't even
know 3 times a day.
Yeah.
That's it. And you'll be all right. Just put sugar in it and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Boil the bones and, you get a delicacy. We just never knew the struggle.
Yeah.
So when we step out of our comfort zone, most of the time we are hit with shock. Where it's like, what is this? Like, I'd rather go back home, or this is not something I'm built for. I am struggling, and everything get overwhelmed and just shut down and give up, because that's just not something that we are used to.
Right.
And I don't enjoy the work culture in the United States.
Yeah.
Because you live to work.
Yeah.
You don't work to live. You don't work to just make enough money so that you can do the things that actually, let you live. Most of the time we are toiling away and putting more time in it, hoping for that retirement down the line, so that you can enjoy finally the fruits of your labor. However, the life here, if you choose it, it's a different lifestyle, and you have to accept that and actually know that this is not the same. It's not. You don't have those social nets that catch us for high. You have a whole lot of social nets that if you find yourself in trouble, a family member can take you in, a friend can lend a helping hand. There's services that the government offers that you can take advantage of. When you get here, you are on your own, and you have to get down to
exactly. But would you say that there are more opportunities? So obviously they are, right?
Oh yeah. No, opportunities are there, but the thing is, you have to fight for them. There's 350 million people in this country. You need to fight. As opposed to 1.5 million people, opportunities are rare in Bots, but there's only 1.5 million people. If you just put as much effort as you can, you will get ahead. However, here you can put as much effort as you can. If the odds are not lined up, it's going to take you 10 years to get ahead. And tell you this, like the jobs that I apply for, these are like really well sought after jobs and high premium jobs. And usually you have lists that are like about 135 applicants for every job, all of them highly qualified. So imagine how many times the role has to turn before it gets to you. So if you
and then you have to think about this. You have I have to take my job serious.
Yes.
This is this is
next guy is waiting
an
for
opportunity. There's an opportunity.
Yeah. So for me, it was more of understanding that rejection is part of life.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And
I'm saying I like that because I've been rejected millions times. So
yeah, it's not anybody else's fault. Maybe the reason
why
they rejected you might not be right.
Yeah.
However, rejection is just a part of it.
It's just part of life. How's it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about rejection, man.
Listen.
I mean, there are opportunities over here. Let's pick up from what.
Can I tell? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? The American dream is still there. You can still break through to that. Like now, my hope is that I will make it. Like it's not even good.
Question.
The reason why I've decided to stay. Okay, fine. When I give up, get like break through. And like it can take you 10 years. Yeah. So as long as we realize our rejection is part of life, just have hope. Because so many people want the same thing. And remember, America, get the boiling pots. People from different countries are here for the same thing. So, chance, but then mindset to wa metara wa America, then you break through.
Yeah.
So now at the time in a rejection, it was very hard for me to accept okay, he fail like because next time nah like job with like Botswana. Next time you fail was primary, was secondary, was junior school, was senior school, was TS, was the peace job. Everything's still right there. So school and I'm getting in the market there, America, everything is so, but I had to find a way around it. But all I can tell you, keep promo Kabutoba America. But one thing, say, I mean, since Naki Dumela Momujimo, say Dumela Horki Legas Kagas Kalihel. Keaboka Utlore, you are Obagan's retirement.
Huh?
Utlore Obagan's retirement, I get.
No, I'm saying that's the life. That's the culture of America.
Hey.
One lives planning for.
Do you know?
Who's living now?
It studies a culture America. Culture America, fun. It's about retirement. You know, and I just discussed that with one of my friends yesterday. One thing, this system. In America, in your youth, you work for retirement. And then remember, Kidira, healthcare, right? More healthcare. Kidila the elderly, right? These people, you know for what? For retirement. Then I'm like, what is this? 65. You don't get to enjoy your money. So you are saving for old age.
Yep. And hope that you make it.
And hope that you make
for them, success is retirement. Us in the African culture, you enjoy your money. You understand? You live your life. You enjoy your money. When you get old, your relatives will find a way. You understand? And there's no nursing home. Your aunt, your nieces, nephews, they'll take care of you. But what I failed to really understand, if I got this like maybe let me say 15 years ago, nkabe ke tlhalogantse system gore ke dire whatever it takes, because ke lemogile gore bona experience in a job like 15 years, the company do like delivery experience or tiro how you keep. When I talk to a lot of Americans, tiro how I keep ba lebile the benefits, so it's a retirement. And that's why you don't see a lot of like, I mean, it's only Baba Nale Maji. But even Haba Nale Maji, Bana ba hope to 2401k so even the elderly people, those who are able to afford certain like the facility, the assisted living, what I agree on nursing home. Nursing home is where the government will pay for you.
Right.
But those ones, they have very poor service, right? So Habanal poor service. how nale assisted living wa khona go ituelela out of pocket or from your insurance, right? So it's like go kwano go berekelwa old age. Rona ka South Africa re itse gore old age wa swa. So go no go mo ile gore ga ke ka go tlhaloganya, but at the same time ke leboga modimo gore I don't live in that system still, because now my retirement ka go retire la ko Botswana wa.
So when are you know, because Mujimo thing.
You got the echo again.
Yeah,
I'm listening.
you want to secure your bag and go home and enjoy.
Hey, now that's my plan. Like, cause American system, ke bereka mo go yone wa bona. I know how horrible it is to be old tlhokomelo ha o nke batho like total strangers. And then remember my America ke case ke le hatleleng gore racism e real wa bona. Some of like the people, then they would never think that motho wa a different color would come into their home. But because of old age, ke gone ba realize gore now you have to deal with this race issue. Like head on. During their youth, they will never allow a person of a different color into their home. But most people have to realize what, okay, it is what it is. So it's like I ke batla go age la mono, ga ke batla go tswalla mono, no. Ebile ga ke advise, I mean, mo Africa mongwe hela would pack and go. And most Africans, let me say 70%, ra pack ra tsamaya. Even 80%. Hey, so it's like case ya me ke gore le nna ke plan go bona gore, like, I mean, I'm gonna have business someday when I don't, like, soon, I don't know, soon. So I'll be fine. Not sure I'll be fine. But even the Botswanas that are here, because Botswana ba bantsi ka kwano. So I want to plan on
yeah. You know what that's good, man. That's good. I think we'll touch on that point. Whew, it's already 6 o'clock. Oh my God. So what do you do for recreation, man?
I'm a kid. That's recreation enough. No, man, I'm raising a boy, and raising a boy at, like, you know, raising kids is it's work. And raising a boy, you know, trying to make sure you set the right tone, give him all the tools like that he needs to just survive in this world. And I'm raising him in a very tough market in Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is nice; it's all rosy and everything, but it's a very rough space for people of color to live in. So I'm raising him in that environment. So most of the time, really, recreation-wise, is really getting him into those activities that will build him, build his character, build his strength, and make sure that, you know, build his responsibilities and just overall awareness. And then the other half is, you know, fighting for his, fighting for his future, making sure that
you teach him Tswana.
Yeah, so that's a struggle because we live in Santa Barbara and there's not a Botswana in 100-mile radius.
Yeah.
And not just that, but also he is half Mexican as well. So he speaks Spanish, which messes up his Botswana.
Yeah.
But no, we try, and then he usually gets really excited when we go to Botswana, and then he knows he'll be speaking Setswana. I need to go and get more into it. So it's like we make progress and then a little bit backwards, and then, you know, it's a challenge. So Santa Barbara is half, not half really. I think it's about 70% white, and then about 29-ish% is maybe 28% is Hispanic. So predominantly, if you are not like in the school systems or all that other stuff, you are interacting with Hispanics. So Spanish is more valuable. So that's the language that everyone is like, it's a neighborhood language. He plays soccer with his friends, it's Spanish. He's running around with family members, Spanish, and we go to family events, Spanish. So that is really big for him. And then Botswana really starts to hit him when we say like, okay, we're going to Botswana, because he knows my grandmother's not going to be speaking English. She's very fluent in English, but she's stubborn, so she's not speaking English. And my mother speaks Botswana, so he really tries to like, okay, now is the time. It's my opportunity now to to try and get it. So it's
you guys use an application, a form of application to do that, like to learn some Tswana?
No, just
just
simple
okay
learning.
I got your point. I'm not gonna ask you, my sister, how you guys do your recreation, because I know you guys gather together as Botswana. There's a lot of Botswana, like you said, in the New York area, and
they party
and so those parties going on, right? Like you guys have the independence. I don't know if you guys do Easter or whatever it is.
We're okay.
Any excuse to have a party in Connecticut, I always see it.
Connecticut can be Monday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Even right now, there's a party going on. I just chose to be home this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sonny, they're beating us, man.
So when you guys have parties, you guys, cook magwinya, madombi. What kind of parties do you guys? I mean, like, I'm always looking for, when I go to see some Botswana, I'm always looking for,
okay. Community arona mo Connecticut. It's mostly like my Southern Africa. So what we have is not even parties. It's like a get together. Okay, you see how like here, everybody's working, right? Everybody's stressed out. When you come from work, all you have to do is make a phone call. Hey, where are you? You can be like 2 people, but it will end up like 10 people out of nowhere. And you know why? People here don't discuss the depression, right? It's just like, Africans are like more social people. So when you see each other, that's it. It's not even a party, but it becomes a party, because you're gonna want what? Food, music. Food and music is a party, right? Now imagine you are an African person, right? You don't know your neighbor. You can't even talk to your neighbor. So seeing your brother, seeing your sister from back home, that's it. That's all you want when you come back. You're so stressed out from work. You need somebody to talk to. You know the American culture. You go home, you watch your TV, and that's it. You are with your family in the house. Bye. People will always find a way out, no matter where you put people. So it's like people go to work, they come back stressed out. All you do, so you don't even ask each other questions. It's like, oh, I'm so at so and so's house. Come over.
You're muted again, Sonny.
You are muted, sorry.
Trying to cut this echo. Don't worry, I'm going to be editing these things, So.
Yeah, so it's like in Connecticut, having any visa is a time to even party.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's either a birthday, so it's always somebody's birthday, right?
Yeah.
So from a birthday to just like, oh, I have my friend in town. That's all.
Wow.
So like, fortunately, but also that can be very toxic if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, like for me this weekend to really be home. Sometimes when you have to make some decisions, you have to be by yourself to think, right?
Yeah.
But some people don't even know that, like, so figure out your life, you have to be by yourself. Some people don't know. But fortunately for me, I know, like, okay, if sometimes I want to come up with a decision, I stay away from people. And then when I'm ready, I know where to find them. So, yeah. And when they don't see you, you know, it's an African thing. They're like, where are you? Where have you been? You understand? They bother you in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, because of that, my first 7 years, I went through loneliness. I know how to deal with loneliness and being with people. So I know how to control all that.
Okay. Chris and Will Smith kind of issue. I don't know if you guys want to.
Yeah,
what do you guys think about that?
All I know is I'm going to the next Chris Rock concert in Oakland.
Did you make decision after that, or it's because?
Oh no, actually,
to sympathize or empathize with him, you know. So
no, actually, that was before.
Okay.
So it's my buddy and I's birthdays are close to each other in July, so we figured, you know what, we are too old for running around partying. So what are you gonna do? Is just, you know, to the Chris Rock show. And crazy thing is now the prices are like
that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah.
But
can you believe? From $46 to $400?
Yep.
That doesn't make sense.
That's the American way. It's about demand. So it's not going to look good for Chris Rock, not for Chris, but for Will Smith, no matter how you look at it.
I have his book over here. I haven't even, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, like even if you say, he stood up for his wife and all the right things that you can say, that's never going to go well for Will Smith, no matter what. The American culture, anytime there's any controversy, will drop you like a hot potato. So there's no way. This is America is also, I don't know if you ever heard of I think it's called the League of Moms or something similar to that. And they jealously guard against any kind of controversial items that go on what they call family TV. So the fact that that cannot be scripted and that it was live on what would otherwise be considered a family time TV, so that's not gonna fly for that group. Is very, very, that group protests SpongeBob. And they are very powerful, so you cannot come up with stuff like that and think it's gonna fly. And I just think it's one of those. I don't know if you ever saw that one video. It's kind of like a voiceover that people have been playing around with on social media. It says, "Guys, when you're going through a rough time, who do you talk to?" And every guy in that video said, "What? Nobody." That slap was not for Chris Rock. This man is going through something that is bigger than anything that we know, and only he can speak to somebody about it, or figure out a way out of it. Whatever it is, he's going through something, and there's no way. Will Smith is a comedian. He's sat through comics, even worse. He used to go to Benny Mac's shows. Okay, Benny Mac will take your grandmother onto that stage. He did not take any prisoners, and no one ever got slapped or anything like that. This is just a moment of, he's gone through a lot, and he's probably going through something much worse than we can imagine. It's just not coming out, and that moment maybe just that was it. That was the moment that kind of just let steam off for a quick second. What hurts, and Denzel Washington said, I'm not religious at all by any stretch of imagination, but Denzel Washington said, when you are at your highest is when the devil is for you, something like that. And what this did is it opened the door. And a lot of people are jumping on this like, yeah, Chris Rock is the devil. No, Chris Rock is not the devil. The devil are the people that now Will Smith has opened the door for to come for him. If you've seen, everyone has 2 cents to say about it. Everyone is like dropping him on this show, dropping him on this program. These are people who did not have an excuse before to drop Will Smith from their stuff. But now they can get an excuse, and now they can come for him. Those, for me, are the devils. And it's just an unfortunate moment you know, and it hurts. I'm not interested on who's right, who's wrong. I'm just something just did not go right, and Will Smith is not in a good place, and hopefully, you know, he gets some. You know, we've seen it all. We've seen all these celebrities that we believe are doing fine. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, and unfortunately, it's Will.
It's Haoza, your take on this, because I saw a clip. He looked at his wife. First, he was laughing. He was sort of kind of smiling and laughing at the joke, right? And his wife. And my guess is that he saw pain. I don't know. I could be wrong, you know? Or maybe something that they talked about it before. He was like, you have to deal with this. What did we talk about? I could be wrong, but either way, man, I don't think, you know, it was okay for him to just leave the space and walked about 10-15 seconds and go and slap somebody. And I think Chris thought that, you know, Will Smith was going to talk to him and say, man, that's a wrong joke. Don't do it. You know, I don't think he expected him to slap him, right? I don't know.
Well, usually what actually comics do is like you roast him, right? And then he comes up to the stage, takes the mic, and roasts you back.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
That's normally how it goes.
Exactly. I think that's what he thought.
Yeah.
How's that?
To tell you the truth, that whole thing was confusing. Because it's as if it was staged. Because he laughed at the joke, right? But we can all agree on one thing. When the wife looked at him, he took action out of that only because of the wife. You understand? But at the same time, it's like Will Smith in that marriage, I mean, it's as if he's the, you know, like he's never stood up for his wife. You understand? But another confusing part is you are a man who's about to receive an Oscar. You're going to get up and go slap somebody? That's, you know, like I'm still confused about that too. But the same thing again, as a celebrity, who do you confide in? Really nobody. At some point, you're going to snap. So I think he snapped, even though his face didn't show. You understand?
Right.
But the thing is, here's a man who has been in a marriage that's very, like, a marriage that's unstable, right? At least let me go and stand up for my wife on TV, on TV where the whole world is watching. He did it for the wife. Not so much, I think, you know, because women, when they go through that hair thing, they you know, women, like, hair is like a glory for a woman in every culture.
Okay.
Yeah, in every culture, in the whole world. Okay. So then here's a comedian making fun of my wife about something that hurt her even the most. So he had to go and defend her on that one.
But do you think that going to slap Chris Rock make things worse?
You know, okay, can I tell you something? Slapping somebody is the weakest thing a man and any other human being, whether a man or a woman. It's when we are at our weakest that we display violence, right? When you are very strong, you never raise a hand on a person, never.
Okay.
So just the wife looking at him, violence was the only way. As much as it's the weakest thing another person can do.
Yeah.
He had to do it for his wife. Because that's why like, I mean, I have friends whose hair can grow. They told me that thing is very depressing. You know, women with their wigs and stuff, after some time that hair goes. But it's like a woman's pride. It's in her hair. So and then now see this. Okay, fine. The wife, she's a celebrity. She can buy anything. But the hair to make it grow, you know, it's not easy. So that's her weakest thing. Like
okay.
One, that's where her pain hits. That's where, you understand?
Yeah.
That's that pain.
I think I understand your point.
Yeah.
The Ian Khama and the Masisi issue. It seems like it keeps on getting worse. You know? How do you think they can resolve this issue?
You know, Botswana is, and I'll address it the best I can, is that Botswana, until we get out of the politics of poverty, we will forever be stuck in this cycle of nonsense. And whether right or wrong, or we should be going after certain things, we are never going to get out of it until we actually move away from politics of poverty. And by that, it's like we are more concerned with immediate benefit than we are with like long-term, like economic longevity. That should be what is driving politics and boards, as opposed to, you know, like political affiliation and allegiances and all these other petty things that actually occupy the specter of our politics. It's not just the Ian Khama Masisi thing. You go back to the opposition as well. You are dealing with the Dumabo Kosaleshando thing, and you are dealing with, previously you are dealing with Khama and what is the guy from BPF. So it's always been that mindset, and I call it the politics of poverty, because there is no tangible deliverable that we put on the plate. Vision 2016, give me one measurable, none. Vision 2036, give me one measurable, none. So those things, if we actually had things that we were delivering on, as opposed to just delivering on actual presidency, because I think that's what our politics are, is we are trying to deliver a presidency. Where the goal is to get as many parliamentary seats as we can so we can get a president. That's it. Beyond that, we got nothing. And because of that, when we get into the arena, what are we doing? Now we are scrambling. We have to find things to do and all that other stuff. And if you don't have a plan, you know, you hear a lot of president, let's say the United States president, for example, in the first 100 days of my presidency, I'm going to achieve 1, 2, 3, and 4. By the midterm elections, 2 years from now, unemployment would be down to this percentage, not kind of like, oh yeah, we'll bring it down. No, this percentage, I will create this many jobs, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this law to protect that. Those are deliverables. That is economic longevity. You actually have something you are working towards. And unfortunately, in my humble opinion is we have not matured yet to that level, to a point where politics is really about, dragging us out of power. There's no reason why Botswana should be poor. Botswana is the size of Texas land-wise, with only under 2 million people, when you're talking citizens only, and with the most wealth you can imagine underground and above ground in fauna and flora. The most stable currency in about 65% of the world. And yet, we still toil in poverty. So, and that's really because the focus has not yet shifted. Goes back to that comfort again. We've not had to fight for the way that we do here in the United States, where you have to fight for every little dime that you get in your pocket, where your struggles are actually realized. there's always kind of like a sweet little spot, just enough that, is right there for you to say, it could be worse. It's not that bad. Hotla Siama is something that we say a lot. And Hotla Siama, I'm almost 38 and we are still saying Hotla Siama, right? Yeah. And that's the sad thing about it, is it's just the politics of poverty, period. And once we get out of that mindset and actually start delivering, and when, let's say Ian is on the one side of the political spectrum, Moses is on the other, the fight is about, you said we are going to deliver 100,000 jobs and you still have not done so. Until we get to that point, we're just going to be in this cycle forever. It doesn't matter who's next one. We're just going to keep doing it.
That's profound. Haoza, can you tie that to some of the things that we can do as Botswana here in the diaspora to impact our economy back home? I know sometimes when we try to do things, we are blocked by bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to add to what Keaboka just said. Go ahead.
Well, for me, KCA Botswana, I want this thing, Ian and Masisi. To tell you the truth, KCA is bigger than them.
Okay.
It goes back to the constitution of Botswana, I get. It goes back to the colonial rules. The treaty, like the treaties that were taken, like the agreements that were made maybe before independence or after. They are affecting Botswana. How we are issue of poverty? Botswana is not supposed to be a poor country at all. But Mujiwayone, the root cause, the constitution. If you go to back in the day, when it was called the Bechuanaland Protectorate, right? There were some agreements that were made. Like Botswana, you are supposed to trade with so and so, right? You cannot trade with so and so. So, you're telling me it's like that's the issue that's going on. To tell you, like, that's the base. Because the British, when they said, okay, fine, you're going to be our protectorate, we're going to protect you, they were looking at their own benefits. Not so much Botswana, right? You know very well, if you really get to understand why Khama had to, Khama the first, Ian's dead, right? Had to marry Ruth. It was kind of like a covenant. Based in South Africa too, because South Africa was the British base. So here you are, we're gonna make you the president, right? Then you're gonna follow these rules, right? So Botswana had to stay on those rules. Then here is Masisi becoming Ian's vice, right? Masisi is watching all this kind of, I would say, some unjust practices that are done by the Khama family. But Khama, they're only following what? The treaties of the UK. Look at the Chobe Ngamiland area. Who's owning all those tourist places? Is it Botswana? No. It's mostly these rich families out here in the Americas, in the UK. Who's setting all the prices? Them. Are Botswana benefiting? No. The diamonds. Who's setting the prices for diamonds? No Botswana. Tell you the truth. How can DBS own 50% and Botswana own? You understand? I mean, as much as they are using their machines and they are the ones marketing and stuff, They don't have to be benefiting. So here is Masisi. You remember the words he used to say, guys, wait. You are going to understand why I had to become Mutlabisi to this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now who's on the seats? Masisi. Who's pulling all the shots? Masisi.
Mm-hmm.
By Ian Khama being of that bloodline, yeah, UK, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, did you watch the movie? I didn't really watch the movie, but I read a little bit. I think it's also in the book. Yeah. You're nearly like the movie. You remember the movie about the Khamas?
Yeah, I remember.
They are related to the queen.
And yeah.
So they have to keep the legacy going. So
you feel like Masisi is dragging their but
no, Masisi is messing up their plan.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So him messing up their plan, where they could, Ian Khama could come and just wake up and change the constitution. I get.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all for the benefit ya bone system ya ba neng ba ya tumelano ya bogologolo wa bona di-treaty. Ha bona di-treaty itlhele di le fanyana lebella what's going on with Russia and Ukraine. You think that Putin is really crazy, but listen to what Putin is saying. They didn't follow all the rules they agreed back then. So Masisi le Khama is not really about them so much. Ke dikoloto tsa melao ya bogologolo. So kore botlhe bobedi the interest tsa bone di tshwanetse go nna about Botswana for Batswana wa lemoga. So it's not for Botswana.
Wow.
So that's the issue.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
You twist but
Hey,
that was good, guys. We've been going for like over an hour. I think we're gonna do part 2, but I think this is fun. This is really wonderful. Can we do message of hope? Message of hope, like Botswana or in general.
In general, again, back to it. Find your calling. Find what what really speaks to you, what you really want to live for, and work towards it. And don't let. And it's funny coming from me, the person who works so much, but live to work to live, not the other way around. And that is just one thing that I'm working towards, is making sure that my job is just a means for me to be able to enjoy my life, for my son to be able to have a good life down the line as well, so he doesn't start on a deficit. But back to just to kind of close it back on the same issue, and I know I told you like politics is not a place that I jump into, but Botswana has to make a decision, and it's going to come from Botswana to just say enough is enough. And there's I don't have a term for it. I don't want to call it like a petty. I want like Botswana need to hold our politicians accountable, all of them. And again, I don't subscribe at this time to either one or the other, or opposition or ruling. I just need them all to grow up. Botswana to actually hold them accountable, hold our politicians accountable to measurables. Don't just listen to someone just because someone brought a case, and then now we are voting for them. No, we need to actually be intelligent about our voting, and that is something that's going to be big. As soon as we do that, these people will then change. That's the only way that our leadership will change the way that they approach politics, the way that they chase these things. If constitution, like Haoza says, is a problem, then we own that. And it's up to us to call the shots and say, no, we're changing this. Botswana, unlike a lot of African countries, Botswana actually enjoys that bit of Switzerland-like peaceful zone where we don't have a specific allegiance to anybody. So unlike other countries that can actually, be sanctioned easily, we are not one of those. So Botswana need to just take it up and say, hey, we need to actually come up with something better. There's only 1.5 million of us. No reason why we are poor. So the next president, the next political party that wants to take government, give us deliverables with target dates, not 2016, not Vision 2036 with the hope, oh, we'll be a morally sound nation. No, give me a deliverable, give me a percentage, and we'll move on from there. That's just my message of hope. And after that, we'll prosper.
Your message of hope, my sister.
Hey, now my message of hope for me, a season of globalization. Botswana, we've been so used to the handouts, free healthcare, free school system. But for us to compete in the international arena, we have to be able to now remain self-sufficient. Because Lerona, when we come to the, like to other countries, to abroad, we really don't know how to fit in because we grew up in that system. But now, since we have become ambassadors, we have become representative for all Botswana back home. We can now even tell them how it works out here, how it works for the whole world. My advice to all of them with hope is that, listen, since we've never suffered and all that, just get up from where you are right now and we are in the international system of globalization. Because if you are in Botswana, you see like you can see what costs $5 here costs the same amount in Botswana. So you have to be able to, Botswana have to be able to get into that system of self-sufficiency. Even the government, they have to come up with programs. Like right now, most people in the diaspora keep crying about like the dual citizenship. Which Botswana leaders, I don't know what's going on with them. They are not getting it. But us in the diaspora now, we know what that means. If they can do that, they can hand that out for everybody. It's like too for people to be able to now know okay, fine. To say economy again. Yeah, so that's all I can say. But this thing, because now you see even the system, Botswana slowly, it's not gonna be able to be paying for school fees. Being able to go to a government hospital paying like $20. That's low service, that's low quality service. So why don't you just like work hard so that you are able to get better services, But there's still hope for Botswana. It's Sanzarnali peace and everything. We're still the role model for African countries mostly. Yeah, that's all.
Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you guys. That was wonderful.